Hello and welcome back to Viper Bites, Week 16 Waiver Wire Edition. Congratulations for those who know that they are moving on. We've still got games going down here in week number 15. We've got Seattle, we've got the Rams, we've got Washington, we got Philadelphia still taking place, but we can still get those waiver wire claims in advance because with the way things are going right now in the NFL and this whole COVID situation, we don't know what it's going to look like tomorrow. So let's get together right now and let's get those claims in as soon as possible. And let's start at the quarterback position here right now. And let's go with Tyler Huntley. Now, it seems like the Ravens have a Lamar Jackson-esque clone on their hands. And if Jackson is to miss more time, Huntley has proven that he can be a top 12 fantasy quarterback options. And Dynasty GMs, keep your eye on him because as much as the Ravens don't want to let Huntley go, there are going to be teams that should be kicking the tires and maybe offering quite the ransom as far as draft capital is concerned to try and bring in Huntley as a quarterback of their team's future moving forward. So definitely a guy to monitor as we re-examine this entire dynasty fantasy football landscape moving forward. Another quarterback that we should keep an eye on here in the next couple weeks is Justin Fields. Yes, I know I'm a big critic of his week in and week out, but listen, when you've got Seattle and you've got the New York Giants coming up in your next 2 weeks as far as games are concerned, and you're only rostered in 26% of leagues heading into Monday Night Football there, yeah, he's definitely worth kicking the tires on and getting him on my roster as well. Now, listen, Monday Night Football, I mentioned that, a little bit of a letdown for him right there. Right now, at times, he looks like he could be the next best thing, and other times he looks like a rookie out there. Now, I feel that Fields is going to get that cleaned up here the next couple weeks. The Bears are going to cut him loose and see what they really got here against both the secondaries of Seattle and of the Giants. I think you're going to see a new Justin Fields. So now is the time to get in on him while you can. Another quarterback to get in on, Jared Goff. Now, he's had good games against Minnesota, Chicago, Arizona. So what makes you believe that he won't have a good game against the Atlanta Falcons? You could do worse as a streaming option than Jared Goff right now. So if you're in that semifinal mode here right now or toilet bowl looking to try and get some kind of whatever you want to call it, Jared Goff, he could be an option right there. And what's more fitting than Jared Goff winning you a fantasy football playoff matchup? The way this season has gone so far. Now let's turn our attention to the running back position. You need to handcuff every and any running back out there. You need to handcuff second and third string running backs the way they have been going down here in recent weeks. Now we're monitoring the Elijah Mitchell situation in San Francisco. If he's out, Jeffrey Wilson, great addition there. He's going to be an awesome player there. So is Justin Jackson if Austin Ekeler is to miss more time as well. Now, Ekeler, he played last week. He's got that sprained ankle, and COVID's kind of factoring into that one. Justin Jackson, he came in. He was very suitable. But you know what? Here are some running backs right now that you need to get in, no matter what the situation looks like. Starting with Ronald Jones, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We know that Fournette is set to miss 1 or 2 games here. And the last time Jones got a good run at the Carolina Panthers, 23 carries, 192 yards, 1 touchdown. He put up almost 25 fantasy points. Get him on your team. Put him in your starting lineup this week. Another running back that you need to add right now, Duke Johnson, Miami Dolphins. 22 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns last week against the Dolphins. And this offense is starting to click now here a little bit. Even Tua Tagovailoa, he is running angry right now. The Dolphins start off 1-7. They're now 7-7, reeling off 6 straight dubs. This team, they're making a push for the playoffs, and Duke Johnson is a part of that reason why here moving forward. Another running back to take a look at, Samaj Pearin. Now, in an extended, I wouldn't call it Joe Mixon absence because Joe Mixon has not missed a game yet, but the game in which Mixon was limited, Pearin, 83 yards on 15 touches. Okay. If Mixon is to miss time, Pearin is a good option for the Cincinnati Bengals run game and a good option for your fantasy rosters. Now, a guy that I was not willing to chase the points on 2 weeks ago, last week, put up another good week. So you know what? I'm back in on Craig Reynolds, Detroit Lions. He is averaging 108 yards in 2 games. No Swift, no Williams, no problem for this Lions running game. Another running back to keep an eye on here heading into Tuesday night, Jordan Howard. Now, Miles Sanders to me would be trending down in this situation as Jordan Howard starts to trend up. The Eagles are 7-2 when Howard gets 50 or more rushing yards. So expect the Eagles to make Howard a focal point of this offense moving forward. Now, at the wide receiver position, I still like KJ Osborne. I still like Russell Gage. I still like Jalen Guyton, but I really, really, really love Amon-Ra St. Brown. And y'all should be too. He's rostered in less than 20% of leagues. Eight catches last week, 90 yards. If he's available in your leagues right now, you need to grab him. You need to trade for him right now as well. Dynasty does not rest. Neither should you when it comes to acquiring the services of Amon-Ra St. Brown for your fantasy rosters. Listen, 3 straight games of 15 or more fantasy points in PPR settings. TJ Hawkinson, he's done for the year. DeAndre Swift, very likely not going to be playing the rest of the season as well. This is St. Brown's squad. Get him while you can. Another wide receiver to get right now. You want hot receivers? How about Gabriel Davis? 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games, rostered in less than 6% of leagues right now. Last week, 5 catches, 85 yards. And Emmanuel Sanders, he missed time last week. There's a good chance he misses time this week. Gabriel Davis is another solid option. Speaking of solid options, let's head to Green Bay. Let's talk about Marquez Valdes-Scantling, rostered in 28% of leagues right now. And Rodgers is on the cusp of breaking Brett Favre's touchdown record. They're currently tied. You know Rodgers is going to be throwing that ball around the yard. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he's going to become a beneficiary of one of those touchdowns. Now, another guy a little bit deeper here, Tyler Johnson, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Evans is dinged up. Chris Godwin, he is out until the playoffs. AB is AB, okay? Let's call it the way it is. Tyler Johnson is one of my guys, and there is an opportunity here for him to make a name for himself here as we move into the 2022 season and get a little bit of a rapport built with Tom Brady heading into the playoffs. Now, the tight end position, hey, look, it's not pretty, but it is what it is. And we're going to start with CJ Uzama here. Now, Baltimore is the 3rd worst defense against tight ends. That's enough for me to think about streaming CJ Uzama here in the fantasy playoffs. Another tight end I'm looking at streaming, Cole Kmet. We just talked about how bad that Baltimore defense is against the tight end position. Well, Seattle isn't any better. They have allowed the 4th most fantasy points to tight ends so far this season. So Cole Kmet, CJ Uzama, these are guys I like a little bit more than the next 2 I'm going to talk about. One, Ricky Seals-Jones. I am sorry. I'm apologizing right now. I thought he was in a good situation. Logan Thomas went down. Logan Thomas was a tight end 1 type. Based on volume and what he was getting in Washington prior to his injury, I thought Ricky Seals could step in. That hasn't been the case. That said, hey, this tight end landscape, it is ugly right now. You could do worse than Ricky Seals-Jones. And one of those guys I like to give a lot of grief on is Evan Ingram. You will see him on everyone's waiver wire wish list right now. He's going against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are not good at defending tight ends. They also weren't good at defending tight ends the last time they played Evan Ingram, and they did a pretty solid job at shutting him down. It's Evan Ingram. It always feels like a trap with this guy. I'm not buying into it, but you know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. And if you're looking for that shoe-in, that maybe that long shot guy to get you into the fantasy football finals, maybe Evan Ingram's the guy. I'm not doing it, but I'm going to throw it out there for you to take a listen to. What also you should listen to is make sure you're listening to this particular episode as well as many others on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, whatever that may be. Take a second, rate and review the show. And as always, on the Vipers Network, drop up in the comments section there. Let us know what you think. Drop some questions there. I'm happy to answer them. And as always, hit the good old-fashioned thumbs up there. Hit the subscribe button. It takes 15 seconds. We love to have your support, and we love to help you each and every week. So hit me up on Twitter at Matt Donnelly FF, and I will get those questions answered for you the best I can. And as always, you want to gain that inside edge on your fantasy competition, head over to fantasypoints.com. Enter promo code 21Vipers10. If you want to wait a little bit longer, enter promo code 22Vipers10. Get 10% off. But hey, if you act now, listen, Fantasy Points right now has a special Christmas Day special going on where you can save even more. So make sure you head over to fantasypoints.com right now. I mean, seriously, turn off this video, head over to fantasypoints.com. Strongly recommend it. With that being said, we'll catch you a little bit later. We got plenty more information coming down the pipeline this week, so stay tuned.